Hello and welcome to the status report summary for SKAGEN Global in May. Let's take a look at the highlights for the month. SKAGEN Global increased by 4.5% during May, outperforming the benchmark by 0.4% on a relative basis. Year to date, the fund is up 6%, 0.7% ahead of the index. One new company was added to the portfolio and we increased our position in another. We exited from 2 companies and reduced the size of our holdings in 3 others. The fund currently consists of 103 companies and the cash position is 3%. The global portfolio remains attractively valued both on an absolute and relative basis. More on the valuation later. Now let's take a look at the month's contributors and detractors to performance. Samsung Electronics, an 8% position in the fund, was the best contributor during May. The Korean electronics company share price increased by 7% in local currency terms during the month as it announced first quarter results in line with expectations, and speculation continued about possible changes in the company's ownership structure. Gazprom, a 2.1% weighting, was the fund's second best performer, following the announcement by the Russian company of its long-awaited gas deal with China. On the negative side, OMV, a 1.1% position, was the fund's largest detractor. The Austrian oil producer's share price fell 10% during the month as its first quarter results were tainted by poor refining margins. Banrisul, a 0.8% weighting, was the fund's second biggest loser as the Brazilian bank announced disappointing first quarter results impacted by higher expenses and increased loan loss provisions. Now let's turn to the portfolio activity during the month. Lenovo Group was a newcomer to the fund in May. The Chinese electronics company has an excellent track record in PCs following its acquisition of IBM's PC business in 2005. We believe recent acquisitions of IBM's server business and Motorola's handset business will allow it to speed up growth further. We continued to add to our position in clothing retailer Gap during May. It is a self-help story with an impressive but not very well understood track record. The company is about to take the next step, we believe, in its turnaround, returning to growth after a long period of consolidation and boosting margins through shifts in channel mix and supply chain improvements. On the sell side, ADT was completely sold out of the portfolio in May. We see increased risk of our downside scenario playing out, with higher competitive pressure leading to higher churn and lower free cash flow. We also exited from Tesco during the month. Competition from hard discounters in the UK is not abating and consumer behaviour is changing in a way that not only affects profitability but also threatens property values, which have been seen as a downside protection for Tesco. Koisaria was sold after a revision of potential revaluation triggers. We see few triggers as earnings growth seems muted in coming years and the company seems to be maintaining its inefficient capital structure. China Unicom was also reduced in May on the back of very strong share price performance. Finally, Samsung Electronics was reduced during the month to avoid the risk of exceeding position size limits following its strong share price performance. Finally, let's take a quick look at the fund's top 10 holdings, which together represent just less than 1/3 of the portfolio. We can see how attractive current valuations are. The companies together trade on a weighted forward price earnings multiple of 8 times, which is substantially below the index, which trades at 15.1 times 2014 earnings, and we believe there to be around 32% upside based on our current target prices. That's all for this month. Thank you very much for watching, and for more information, please visit the SKAGEN Global section of the SKAGEN website.